Three, two, one. Welcome everybody to the Geek Dad Report.
Oh, very nice.
This is episode 187 of the one show dedicated to making you fall asleep with our beautiful voices while we sneak into your room and suck your blood.
And then we eat your brain.
We do not eat faces. We are very nice vampires. We're very nice. We suck your blood. We sneak in. Little bit of trespassing. Tiny bit of burglary. We break in. We suck your blood while you sleep so you don't even know. And then we put nice little band-aids on your neck. And then we sneak out the window.
Two ibuprofens and call it good.
And we may drink your whiskey. Whiskey. So good.
All of it.
All of it. What the fuck are we doing vampire accents?
I don't know. Maybe are we getting ready for the Halloween episode? Is that?
Yes, maybe. I mean, I saw it. We're going to talk about that. I mean, that's the only creepy thing I've done recently. Like, it's September. I mean, we should be, like, starting off with, like, NFL themes or something. I have no idea why we're doing vampires.
I went to Costco and they already had, like, the Christmas stuff out and the Halloween stuff out, so.
Yeah, I saw that, too. I thought that was a weird combination. I mean, like, one of the other people, like, are we combining the holidays now?
Yeah, it's Christmas-ween.
Well, ooh. That sounds like a dirty sex movie.
I'm willing to bet if you Google it, it's probably.
I'm gonna let you do that first. Well, you know they do say Halloween is rapidly becoming the most popular holiday in America.
Because people like to be scared.
I think people like to dress up and run around and get candy more than they like to buy people they don't like presents.
You know, I very much love wearing my naughty nurse costume that I do every year, and you know, it's
but you wear it every day. I mean, you've been banned from 3 schools, Ryan. 3.
Yeah. Well,
your kid's soccer coach said that if you show up one more time wearing it, you are not going to be allowed to watch the games anymore.
Yeah. I'm working around it. I think I found a loophole this year. And
you looked through the rule book and found a legal loophole for naughty nurse outfits?
It's a literal loophole that's in the costume. So.
Well, let's hope it's high and not low. Oh, my God. Yeah, I know. My wife asked me, like, September 1st. She's like, can we put up Halloween decorations? I'm like, it's September 1st.
Yeah. At least wait until, like, the week of the 23rd or something.
Dude, so my rule with Christmas decorations is we put them up Thanksgiving weekend. I think a lot of people, I think it's kind of the rule of thumb for everybody is, you know, Thanksgiving weekend, you eat your turkey, and then the next day you get out your Halloween decorations or Christmas decorations, and then usually I tear them down right around New Year's. So, like, right after the first of the year, it's kind of take them down. So they're up for a good solid, like, 6 weeks. So I'm willing to give... I really like Halloween, and we got some really good Halloween decorations, so I'm willing to give it the 6-week treatment, too. But that would still put it, like you said, like the 23rd of September?
Yeah, it's still not even sweater weather. I mean, I don't know how it is over for you guys, but... I mean,
dude, it's a nice balmy 72 today.
Yeah, it was 94 today here.
Well, 72 here in Washington is still pretty warm. It's not really sweater weather. I mean, I don't even know what it is right now, but I don't think it's been getting below 50, so it's not at night, so it's not even that cold.
Yeah.
But
I would kill for that weather.
Anyway, yes, well, I'll tell you what. Let's just say we were practicing our vampire voices for our Halloween episode. If you guys think our vampire voices are really good and you'd like to hear us do more of them, let us know. I'll keep practicing. Yeah. I'll keep practicing my voices, and I will do what I got to do.
It'll get the better. Kind of gotta do like a weird Italian, almost.
Yeah, but, like you did a weird Italian. I do like a Jewish Russian.
Yeah.
That's what I think I've kind of got going on for my vampire voice.
You sound very close to Adam Sandler's character on Hotel Transylvania.
That is probably where I get it from. That, or even like a little Mel Brooksy.
Yes.
And I don't know why I keep doing this. Vampires usually, I mean, I guess sometimes they're like... Rrr.
They're always trying to, like, grab some boobs, apparently. So.
Hello, let me suck your zipples. Your zipples are very zippifying. All right, what are we doing? Episode 100. Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 187. If you didn't hear it through my Count Dracula voice. of the Geek Dad Report, the one show dedicated, formally, especially curated, and bring you guys all the nerd news you need to know, all I put in a beautiful smile on your beautiful faces. I'm Brian, the hostess with the absolute vampire mostess.
And I'm Ryan, the vampire assistant, I guess. I don't know.
I'm going to get some teeth, though. If I'm going to really commit to the bit, I'm going
to... I make sure, like, you know, the people that blood has been sucked have been, like, you know, like they look nice.
No, we know what you do. I suck their blood, and you show up in the naughty nurse outfit and try and resuscitate them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a weird...
Yeah, it's led to some very hilarious ends. So...
Moving on. Sorry we didn't have an episode last week, everybody, if anybody was counting. It was a short week, holiday week, and we had a lot, especially me, had a lot going on, so we were not able to record last week. That was a nice way of saying that Ryan wussed out because his stupid Packers were playing the most boring football game I've ever seen. So, just so everybody knows, if you were like, oh, where's the new episode of Geek Dad Report? This would bring joy to my life, and I've had such a bad week. The only thing that can make me happy is Brian and Ryan's angelic voices. That was taken away from you, so Ryan could watch the Packers and the Bears give us a 10-3 stink fest of a terrible game.
I'm just saying, I support my wife. My wife is a big Packers fan, and I will be there to support her, even though I fell asleep probably 20 times during that game at various points in it.
I'm surprised. I actually give you credit for waking up and watching more of it, because that is one of the worst football games I have ever watched in my life.
It was pretty bad. It was almost as bad as another football game that shall not be mentioned.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that later. I think we're going to talk some. We're going to save the Pittsburgh Steelers Seahawks talk for our faithful 50 questions. Mm-hmm. But all of our NFL fans, do not think for a second that we are not going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we had some questions. I think Ryan specifically had some questions about the Steelers.
I had zero questions, but there were a couple of
we do not want to rob the faithful 50 from their brilliant questions, so we're going to dedicate a whole segment of Hawk Talk and Steelers Talk in our Q&A section later in the show. So just prepare yourselves for that.
It's going
to be Ryan's favorite segment ever. Woo!
It's not good, but anyways. I had a good week last week. I mean, I read some comic books.
Before we talk about what we did this week, also on the show the rest of the tonight, guys and gals, we have some new news. We got some new iPhone updates we're going to be talking about, and then some other random shit. And then we have some recommendations. So it is an action-packed show. Make sure you stick around till the end.
At least just stay around to watch Brian to try to just make me feel bad about my football team.
It will not be hard.
Yeah.
But hey, look on the bright side. At least you still don't have Antonio Brown. Wow. Glad that's New England's problem. Anyway, so Ryan, how was your week, man? It's been a while since we've talked. What's going on? What's new?
Like I said, I remember that the DCU app has comic books.
Ooh. And that's right. I only think about their TV shows.
It's really hard to forget. I mean, like the tab for it, it's like all the way down on the bottom.
Yeah.
And when you open up the app, the only thing they really have is like all like the TV shows and the movies and everything, or like the first like huge section of it when you're scrolling down. And then it's easy to forget that they have comic books. So.
Well, you know, I think part of my problem was too is like when they first launched it, they had so few comic books that I just got irritated. Like I'd read one and then they're like, buy the next 5, and I'm like, what? You have one comic book in this entire series.
Yeah, and they wouldn't even give you an option to buy.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so I started reading the Doomsday Clock comics. Nice. They have the first 6 on there of the 12.
That's the Watchmen tie-in, right?
Yes, the Watchmen. Mostly like in Gotham, but they do have a little bit of it in Metropolis. It is everything that you could have wanted from the Watchmen coming into the DC universe. It's I'm really super curious to see how the story ends. But the first 6 issues are on the DCU app, and I have figured a friend of mine has showed me a way how to read the final 6 without having to,
You dirty pirater.
Yes, it's a little bit of a yar, but so I will try and finish that out. But it is super good. When I remembered about it on a Sunday night when he told me about it, I probably read all 6 of them by Monday night. So
nice. Yeah, well, and that's actually good timing too, because I think the new Watchmen series on HBO launches next month. I think so.
Oh,
yeah. Everything's coming up. Watchmen. I like it.
Yeah, so I'm going to try and get through. I forgot how much I liked reading comic books, especially DC comics. So I'm gonna actually started adding some more.
Well, I've been trying to read. I've been trying to get caught up on a lot of my books, right? So I've kind of put my comic books to the side, but I've let it build up for a while. So I think there's some good storylines I can get caught up on. So I might have to check those out too. I've been well, I watched Titans season 2 episode 1, but I think I'll talk about that. That's what I've been kind of doing with my DC Universe app. But I think I'll talk about that in recommendations.
Yeah. Well, I got a good recommendation for this week.
Nice.
But I'll wait until we get to that point. But
yeah, DC Universe app just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. If anybody's still on the fence on it, they should definitely hop on. I like it. Like I said, we're going to talk more about it later in recommendations, but they do have a lot of comic books and some great shows.
Yes. So, Brian, what about you? How did your week go? You've been reading, which is good.
Yes, I've been doing a ton of reading. I just finished up the second Percy Jackson book, so I started that series. I blew through the first one, finished the second one. I'm not sure if I'm going to start reading the third one. I'm going to Mexico in October, and so I wanted a good vacation book. I don't necessarily know if I want to bring another Percy Jackson book on vacation. I think about maybe something more adult, but I picked up this book, but I don't know if I want to bring this in my carry-on.
Oh.
I feel like this may not be a good beach, by the pool read. So we'll see. Yeah. Look at that.
You're going to be sitting by the pool and someone's going to jump out of the water and murder you.
Dude, I could beat somebody with this. If they tried to murder me, I could kill them by hitting them with this book.
Just put it next to a storm drain.
Dude, so I went and saw It 2 this weekend, and I'll talk about that in a second, but I was at Costco and I realized... I was talking to some people because I really enjoyed it too. I actually thought it was a pretty good movie. Without any spoilers, it's long. It definitely deviates from the source material from what I remember of it, but I really liked it. I think as a series, It 1 and It Chapter 2 was a pretty solid movie. A pretty good retelling of Pennywise. I mean, listen, it's not the book. This thing has 1,200 pages. Mm-hmm. So anybody not familiar with how scripts work, every minute of a movie is roughly 1 page of script. So It 1 was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and It 2 was 2 hours and 40. So you're talking 5 hours of movie, right? So 5 hours of movie roughly is 300 pages of script. So that means they took a 1,200-page novel and adapted it to a 300-page screenplay. So I know some people are unhappy with the way the movie went with the book, but I say cut it a little slack. This is hard to adapt.
Yeah, and... just remember, Game of Thrones, everyone can still complain about that if you really...
Yeah, and honestly, I thought they did a really really good job, cohesive job of making a movie that made sense, right? A part 1 and a part 2. My only issue with Chapter 2, it is a little bit long. It does kind of sag in the middle, but you can feel the weight of the almost 3-hour movie. So you kind of at one point, you're kind of like, all right, let's get to it. But it's mostly in the middle. The beginning is really good. The end just screams by. And I really liked it for a movie that is kind of a comedy horror movie. There was a surprising amount of weight, and there's parts in the end where me and my wife were both kind of in tears. It's the actors are really good in this, really good, especially Bill Hader. Bill Hader, I've seen him in other things, and I know he's funny and I know he's a good actor, but I just did not know how good of an actor he was until I watched this. He is so good in this movie.
Barry at all? On HBO?
I've not. I've had so many people recommend Barry. I need to check it out. I've heard it's great. It's where he plays a hitman, right? He's an assassin.
Yeah, I've watched the first 3 episodes or so, and it's pretty funny. It's a good show.
Yeah, I want to check it out. But yeah, in my opinion, he steals the movie in It Chapter 2. And if anybody's seen It Chapter 1, how funny it is, a lot of that humor goes right into Chapter 2. It's a good, I really enjoyed it. Me and the wife, we had a date day. We had my in-laws watch the kids, so we caught an 11 o'clock show, which is a little weird for a horror movie to watch it at 11 in the morning. But yeah, we went and saw the movie and really liked it. And so, like I said, I was at Costco after I saw the movie, and I saw this book, and it reminded me, I talked to a few people who had read the book, and they were talking about how different the book is and how they were kind of disappointed with the movie. And so I saw the book. Now, mind you, it was sitting like this. There's a whole bunch of other books, so I forgot how thick it was.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now. Anybody, I think I've told this on the show before, but anybody who's, if you haven't heard the story before. So when I was a kid, I read a ton of Stephen King, and I read It. I borrowed it from a friend because it was like making the rounds. It was super popular. I think this was right maybe before or after, maybe the miniseries was coming out, the TV one. So everybody was talking about It. And so I borrowed the book. Now, at the time, my family was super religious. So some boys have like pornos under their mattress. I had It. Like I'd have to read it and hide it under my bed. Which is no easy feat. I mean, look at that thing. And so they finally, I got to about this much of the book left, right? So I read that much of the book. I got about this much left. And they find the book, and they burned it.
They burned your friend's book?
They burned the book. I was like, guys, that's not even my book. I'll give it back. I won't finish it. No, we don't want your friend reading this smut either. And I was like, all right. And so we burned the book over a campfire, and everybody watched it. Like, I swear to God, they expected demons to come out of this book. And so, I mean, look, this thing is like a journey, right? I mean, it's a big chunk of your life. So I was so distraught that I never got back around to reading it again, just because it's such a big book and my family hated it. And so by the time I was an adult and I could just do whatever the hell I wanted to, I just kind of put it in the back of my mind and didn't think about it. And so I'm sitting at Costco, I'm watching the movie, and I look at the book, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish this book. And then I picked it up, and I thought two things. That is a big fucking book.
Or did you, when you first pick it up, you say, "Oh, I think I grabbed two books," and then you're like,
"Yeah, I kind of did." I was like, "Oh no, this is one book," and then I was like, "Holy shit! How does Stephen King like do anything in life? Look at this. Can you imagine, dude? If I were a writer, this would be 4 books." Like,
yeah, but the thing is, like, and he probably wrote that in like 2 months or something.
I wrote it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, like, how can you write like? I mean. Obviously, he's a prolific writer. I mean, but it's insane, like how much that guy can pump out.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you gonna read it, Ryan? Because I know how much you love clowns.
You know,
Ryan. Would you like a balloon? Woo! Do you want me to sing you a song?
No.
Would you like to float like this balloon? We all float down here, Ryan. We all float.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'm
Ryan,
scared. I'd rather look at the picture that your daughter drew.
Look into my eyes. You will dream of me.
Oh, happy eyes. You got weird pupils.
Oh, okay. So the picture that my daughter drew. So a little backstory. My kids had found out that we were going to go see It Chapter 2. You know, they've seen the trailers for it, and they've been bugging us forever to watch It, and we're just like, no, you're not watching It. And then, well, like, it'll give you nightmares. Now, mind you, my daughters are 10 and 7. So they're not like, I mean, they're pretty small, but they've seen a lot of things.
Early 7 going on like 30.
Yes. And they've watched all of Stranger Things, which has definitely some horror stuff to it and some elements of terror and things. So, and they did pretty good with that. And so I bought It Chapter 1 was on sale for like $10 on Blu-ray or on iTunes. And so me and my wife wanted to watch it before we went and saw Chapter 2 because it'd been a little while. Now, anybody not familiar with the first It movie, it's almost more like Goonies, a rated R Goonies, or like a rated R Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. And there's only a couple parts that are really graphically gross, like when Georgie gets his arm bit off at the beginning. But we figured we'd have the kids close their eyes, and then there's a couple smaller things towards the end that are kind of gross. So we figured we'd have them close their eyes. We don't really care about bad language, whatever. I mean, I'm their father. Yeah,
they hear worse around the house.
Me and their mother swear like sailors, so you know.
Yeah, my kids are very well versed. Even though they don't use any of the bad words, they're very well. They know them all.
Yeah, same with my kids. So, so we're like, okay, tell you what. They kept bugging us, and so we're like, all right, fine. Family movie. We'll watch this. But one rule. You're sleeping in your own bed. You are not coming into our room tonight. That's just so you know. So, Figure it out. We should have recorded them watching this movie. Charlie watched. Now, we made him close their eyes when Georgie got his arm bit off, of course, and the other couple of gross scenes. But anytime it showed up, Charlie was just head under the blanket, right? The whole time. She watched 90% of the movie from under her blanket. And Addie, my oldest, is over here just like having an aneurysm. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. Oh my God, oh. We're like, shut up. Either you watch this movie, or I can't believe you're making me watch this movie. We're not making you watch shit. If you want to go upstairs, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you guys are not being like chained. You're not tied up in any way.
So then at the end of the movie, Addie was like, they're like, oh, that wasn't super scary. And Addie was like, I don't know. It's going to haunt my dreams. And Charlie's like, quit being a wuss. It wasn't even that scary. And we're like, you literally watched the entire movie under your blanket. She wouldn't go to the bathroom by herself for 2 days because she thought it was going to get her.
Seriously? That's funny.
Seriously. But now she's like obsessed with it. She loves this thing, and they made me buy this. I mean, it's kind of for a Halloween decoration. Your friend, right?
Yes.
Which is a pretty cool little decoration. And then my daughter I come home yesterday, and she got this picture. Now, any of you who are Facebook friends with me have already seen this, but everybody who is not, you're in for quite a treat. My daughter shows me this picture, and she goes, Dad, guess who this is? And I'm looking at it, and I see the ruffles, and I'm like, is that Pennywise the Clown? She's like, yeah. And she's like, guess what that is? I was like, he's got a long arm. She's like, no, he's holding Georgie's arm. Because there's a part in the movie where you see it later in the movie, and he's got a hand, like a bloody hand, and he waves it at people. Mm-hmm. And they all thought it was Georgie's arm. And I'm like, no, Georgie got his arm eaten. I don't know whose arm that is. Some random kid's arm.
That's just... She's going to kill you in your sleep, Probably. One day. Right?
She's going to be like, don't worry, Dad. They all float. And I'm going to be like, no. I mean, I will say this. We are not going to let him see It Chapter 2. It is much more gory and way more scary.
Maybe the oldest in like 2 years.
Yeah, they are real mad, too, that we're not going to let them see the movie. And they've been begging me to tell them who lives and who dies. Because they love the kids, and they love, I forget his name in the movie, but Barry's character. Or God, guy who plays Barry.
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader. His character. When he's an adult, he's obviously Bill Hader, but when he's a kid, he's played by Mike from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
So they love him, and they're just like, does he die? Just tell us, does he die? You better not die. And I'm like, not telling you shit. So yeah, so that was fun. It was, I wouldn't necessarily recommend letting your kids watch it if they can't handle it. But if your kids can handle it, I would, or kind of like borderline, I say definitely do it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
I know
it's fun.
A good friend of ours, Jason, he's like really into horror movies. His daughter's been like watching the way messed up stuff.
Yeah, I think for her like 8th birthday, they watched the Nightmare on Elm Street marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, man, each their own, I guess. Ryan, I know your kids will not be watching it because you won't even watch it.
No, I might someday.
It's on my Vudu account, Ryan.
Someday when, I'm completely blind.
Listen, stop being such a weenie. It is on my Vudu account. Here's a new rule. If you don't watch it, I'm going to deny you access from it.
What? That's bullshit.
I expect your report... I expect your report next week.
I'll talk to my wife and maybe I can get her to watch it with me.
It's actually really good. It's super funny.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a couple creepy parts, but I think you like it. It's a good movie. All right, so I think that's probably enough of my It talk. We should probably dive into some news.
Right in.
Hooah! Ryan, we are coming with the Pennywise arm-ripping, biting chomp of destiny. We are coming with the interdimensional look into my glowing 3 eyes, floating death trap of learning. Yeah.
And then I don't know what kind of a leg sweep.
The red balloon leg sweep of death.
The red balloon, like, just hit you in the back of the kneecap with the red balloon.
I like it.
Of knowledge.
It's fantastic. All right, what do you want to talk about first? Should we just do the big Apple news and then go to everything else?
Let's just plow through the Apple stuff because I don't think people are as excited about new Apple devices.
Maybe it's because Apple just likes to plow through our pocketbooks and give us mostly nothing.
Yeah, I've had this phone for like 3 years now, and it's just been just fine.
Okay, I'm gonna say this with a caveat. I do have the new iPhone XS Max or whatever, and I'm gonna get the new iPhone, but it's only because I'm in the iPhone for Life plan, where basically it's a pretty good deal with Verizon. Basically, as long as I have the newest iPhone, all I gotta do is make a year's payment, which I've done, and then I just take this phone, hand it in, and they just give me a new phone.
I have the I get a free phone from the Deafblind services.
Oh.
I just go like this, and I break my phone. I probably can't call them on this phone, but
you gotta call them first and then break it. You're like, wait a minute, how are you calling us? You're from your phone.
My phone's gonna break, and then I break it, and then they say, okay, here's a new one.
Nice, I like it.
Thank you.
That's a scam, though, Ryan. You're a scammer. First, you're pirating comic books. Now you're stealing phones from other poor blind people. You're just a terrible human being. But yeah, so I'll have the new iPhone. So take everything, all the shit talking we're gonna talk in a second with a grain of salt, because I'm gonna have the new weird 3-eyed iPhone.
So why does it have 3 cameras?
Okay, so one's a telephotic lens, one's a wide-angle lens, and then one's like a telephotic wide-angle lens. I don't really know.
Is one just for like pet pictures, basically?
I think they combine together to take one picture, because now everything's digital, so you just take it and they can combine all the pixels. So they've been doing a lot of that already. There's like an overlay feature that you can, I think it's a HDR mode or whatever, where it basically takes 2 pictures and then puts them together. So I'm guessing there's gonna be some of that, but I know some of them are a wide-angle lens, so you can take like. I'm not a camera specialist, so everybody just. It's supposed to take really good pictures and a lot of depth.
So basically, it's just for people that use Instagram a lot.
Well, I mean, clearly they're definitely targeting the social media crowd. I like to take a lot of pictures, and I like to take a lot of scenic pictures, and I like to take them just because I really like pictures. So
I've got a good like 6,000 pictures that I've never done anything with.
Yeah,
so
I poured them from computer to computer. Hang on to them.
Yeah, they're all on my computer.
I mean, listen, there are some cool new features with this new phone. They're getting rid of 3D touch, and they've got some new sensitive touch that they're doing. So that thing where you push hard on your phone. Well, I don't know if you even. Yeah, I think you have it on yours. You push hard, and then you push, and then you push again, and then another option pops up. That's going away. They have a night vision mode, so night picture mode, so you can take pictures in the dark without the flash, and they actually turn out really nice.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So that's pretty cool. Supposedly the battery's 4 hours longer.
That's not bad.
They switched to like an all special pixel. Fuck, I don't know, man. Listen, it's Apple. They give you a bunch of little teeny upgrades. They package it, repackage it, and say it's the new phone. Here you go.
Yeah, but the most important thing is, what is the price going to be?
So. Okay, so here's what they really did. So all bullshitting aside, the reason why I'm going to be able to get into iPhone for the same price is because I already paid $1,200 for this one. So the new one's $1,200, so it'll be the same monthly price. All I got to do is pay for tax. So they announced a couple different things. One, they announced that they're going to the iPhone 11 is coming out. It's got like 8 different colors. It's the A13 Bionic chip, which is the same thing in the iPhone 11 Pro. So they have 2 different lines. They have the iPhone 11 and then they have the iPhone 11 Pro. Now the Pro line is really the new upgraded iPhone. The iPhone 11 is basically this phone, the XS, with a faster microprocessor and a new color. So it basically has the same 2 camera options. Now, don't get me wrong. This phone is really good. I really liked my X Max. If I didn't have the iPhone plan where I could just get a new one for the same cost, I'd be keeping this phone. It's a really good phone. But that being said, the iPhone 11 is just a faster version of this one. And they're starting the starting price point of that is $699. So, if you're an entry level, you're just looking for a new phone, $700 for an iPhone is not a bad deal. I mean, you can get it. I think it's like $30 a month. I think it's 20 something a month, but if you want to upgrade to the 128 megabyte memory, it's like $32 a month for your phone. So, I mean, it's not bad. They got a whole bunch of different colors. It's got a 6.1 inch screen. They're going to be nice phones. Now, if you want the Pro version, which is the upgraded cameras, which is apparently they come with a new 18-watt charger, so they say it'll charge half your battery life in 30 minutes, which is really fast.
That's crazy fast.
Yeah. Especially if it does have the 4-hour. So the 11 Pro is a 4-hour better than my phone, and the Pro Max which is exactly the same size as my phone, is 5 hours better. So, I mean, you're getting the better battery life. You're getting a faster phone. You're getting a new touch system. Face ID recognition is supposed to be way better and way faster. I don't know. The other thing, too, is this one is 100% waterproof. You can swim up to, you can drop it in 12 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. So
that's not too bad, honestly.
No, that's not bad at all. Considering everything else has been water resistant, that's actually a pretty big upgrade for waterproofing for iPhones anyway. And here's the thing. If you're an Android user, almost all these features are going to be like, yeah, I've had these for years. Well, that's kind of Apple's thing. They don't really innovate anymore.
Yeah, they jump in a little late, and then they try and make it seem like it was their idea in the first place.
They make it snazzy. I will say they make a lot of these features work better than sometimes Android devices do, but honestly, if you're looking for a revolutionary new version of your iPhone, you're not getting it. If you bought the iPhone XS Max like I did, the new one is minuscule upgrades.
Yeah. If you want to take really good pictures of your pet and the food that you eat and put it on Instagram, this is going to be the phone for you.
Yeah, if you care a lot about pictures, one of the cool features, so the new front-facing camera is much improved on this. Apparently, you can do it in slow motion now.
Ooh.
But as always, I don't necessarily need a selfie in slow motion, but as always with Apple, a lot of the updates you're going to get anyway with iOS 13. So they're coming out with a whole new photo editing studio. I mean, they're really diving in on this photo thing. They're trying to turn your phone into a high-powered camera, which, hey, for a guy who takes a lot of pictures, I take all the family pictures, I take a lot of vacation pictures. I like the idea of a better camera, so, I mean, whatever. But
I just want a better picture printer. I would print off pictures if I had a better way of printing it.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, I mean, and you mentioned price. So the iPhone 11 starts at $699. The iPhone 11 Pro starts at $999, and then the iPhone 11 Max starts at $1099. So, like I said, if you want the model that I have, which is the Max with a 250 gig hard drive or memory, it's got about $1,250.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I mean,
it ain't cheap, and you ain't getting much. But like I said, all I got to do is pay sales tax, so hey, I'll probably get one. They also added a green, so they all have a flat finish instead of a shiny finish. They're all still wireless charging. There's still a lot of the same features as the last models, but they did add a midnight green, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to get it. I'm still probably going to get the space gray, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
What else?
Couldn't tell you because I have to get like the heavy duty OtterBox case because I dropped my phone like nobody's business.
Yeah.
If I did not have this case, this phone would have broke within like the first 3 days.
I will say this: if someone's still rocking I think it was 6 like you are with the touch button and the smaller screen and no Face ID, I would say it's worth it to upgrade, man. I really enjoy Face ID on this thing. I really like not having a home button. It's a really good phone. So I mean, if you're still rocking a 6 or a 7, or even an 8, it's probably really worth upgrading to the new one. But if you're looking for some revolutionary new phone that can do some shit you've never seen, well, you should probably go with Android because that's usually not what Apple does.
Yeah, I don't mind waiting. I mean, it's my phone. I I communicate with text messages. I don't like to FaceTime people, and I'll take a picture every now and then when I remember to. That's pretty much what I use my phone for.
Then your phone is probably perfect for you.
Yeah.
Let's see what else they roll out. They gave us a new iPad, which is basically last year's iPad, but just with a faster chip.
Yeah. Woo.
For $329. There was a new iWatch, the iWatch Series 5. Basically, it's the same exact style as last year's. The only difference is this year they got some new bands, of course, but the big difference is this year is the battery. They've readjusted it, so it's got an all Retina screen. So now it's always on. So my iWatch, if I had it on, I'd show you guys. You have to raise it to turn it on, or else like when you put your arm down, it just goes to black. So the new iWatch is always on. It just dims, and then when you lift it up, then it lights up. That makes sense. So the thought is like if you got your arm down at your lap, you can just kind of glance at it and see what time it is.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I wanted to see what time it is, I have to like click the little side button and it'll pop up, or I have to raise my arm.
Wow.
The other feature that they had that was a big
arm these days.
What?
I said it's so hard to raise your arm these days too. Just be like, ugh.
Honestly, like it's so easy to just click over and look at the time until you just click the little button and it pops on. Me personally, I don't really want everybody reading all my messages all the time, so I don't really want my watch on 24/7. But I mean that's the new feature, and then it's still got an 18-hour battery. The other new feature was that it has a compass now built in.
Yeah, that's nice.
Which I think is cool. I mean, I said that the moment I got my watch. We were out hiking, and I was like, "Oh man, it'd be sweet if this thing had a compass." I don't really need it. If I really need a compass, I can pull out my watch or my phone and use the compass. But yeah. So I mean, whatever. I really like my iWatch, my Series 4. I'm not sad I didn't wait, to be honest with you, because I got mine for $100 cheaper than what people are going to pay for these ones. And I don't think always on and a compass is worth $100.
Yeah.
But they're nice. If you don't own a iWatch and you really thought about it, now's the time to do it. I mean, hop on. They're pretty cool. And then lastly, the other big kind of announcement that that Apple rolled out was their a lot more information on their Apple TV Plus. It's going to be $4.99 a month. It rolls out in November, I think November. And they actually had some trailers for some shows. None of them made me go, I need this in my life.
Yeah, they have like that Steve Carell show, right?
They have a Steve Carell show. They have a Jason Momoa show where it's the future and everybody's blind.
Sounds good to me.
But then there's two kids that are born with sight, and they all know it. But I'm thinking to myself, like, if they're all blind, how do they know babies have sight? I don't get it.
It's like that. Well, what was that movie, Quiet Place? But like. They decided to go with blindness instead of deafness.
I guess. I don't know. The only thing that's kind of cool, and I'm sure we'll all check this out, because what Apple is doing that is kind of smart is anytime you buy an Apple device now, they give you a whole year free of Apple TV.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So, I mean, their play is like, listen, you're going to buy a new iPhone. Here's a whole year. And we're just hoping that in that year you get addicted to some of these shows, and then you're just like, all right, fuck it, I'll pay $4.99 a month.
Yeah, or I'll just buy a brand new device.
I don't know. I mean, if anybody saw any trailers of anything that made them really excited for this, Apple for $5 a month. I signed up for Disney Plus for the 3-year deal for $150. So I'm getting Apple Plus. I'm getting Disney Plus for under $4 a month. I feel like I'm getting way more value with my Disney subscription than I would be getting with an Apple subscription. So I feel like they should charge 99 cents a month because you're getting like 9 shows.
Well, Apple only has so many properties that they've been able to like get their hands on.
No,
so.
I think Peanuts. Peanuts is the only like name that you recognize. I guess they got Oprah.
Yeah,
it's kind of a big deal. So all right. Well, that is all the Apple news that we cared about. So, hey, whatever. Moving on. All right, so we got a little bit of Star Wars. Should we do our Star Wars stuff? Hooah!
Of course, Brian.
Because everybody knows Star Wars is the best.
Start with the Star Wars stuff.
So a few months ago, a lot of people who hate Disney, hate that they own Star Wars, was really taking it to Disney when the California Galaxy's Edge, the Disneyland Galaxy's Edge, wasn't like at full capacity every day. people were saying it was a disaster, and that this shows that the fans have turned on Disney. Blah, blah, fucking blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, Disney just opened Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney World, and it was at full capacity at 4 a.m. on opening day. There was a 5.5 hour wait to ride the Millennium Falcon ride at 4 a.m.
5.5 hours?
At 4 a.m.
Oh my God. So by breakfast time, you might have gone on the Millennium Falcon ride.
So anybody who thinks that Star Wars is whatever. I think there's a lot of factors why the California one wasn't as full capacity. I mean, but whatever.
But even like 90% capacity is probably like still generating like $100 million a day.
Oh yeah, listen, Star Wars Land is going to be, Galaxy's Edge is going to be a huge draw for many years.
You know how many people are going to be walking around with $300 lightsabers that they bought at the gift shop?
I know at least one, Ryan. Listen, I'm going in May. I will give everybody my review of it then, but I don't think Disney is going to be hurting for people at Star Wars Land. Speaking of Disney Plus a minute ago, so we all know Mandalorian is launching with Disney Plus. I hope everybody got their deal on subscription. If you didn't get the deal that I got, Disney is still rolling out a whole bunch of different deals I've seen for Disney Plus, so keep your eyes open. So Mandalorian's launching. Well, they're already working on Season 2, and they're already kind of dropping hints about Mandalorian Season 2. One of them is that, well, not even Season 2, but just Mandalorian in general, is that one of the things the Mandalorian is going to do is it's going to explore the unexplored origins of the First Order. So we're going to see, because it takes place after 7 years after Return of the Jedi, we are going to see a lot of the start of the First Order played out in the Mandalorian, which is awesome.
Yes, and we talked about it, right? Yeah, we did talk about it. Like, just that one trailer that came out.
The trailer was amazing.
So it's going to be a movie in quality every single week. And now that they're adding in the First Order stuff, it's just it's knowledge that people have been really craving for. So
well, and I think for me, the thing that makes me really excited is, as much as I love the original trilogy era, you know, I watched The Mandalorian. It looks great. I'm super excited, but I also love the Force, and I love the whole giant saga. And I was really hoping that this wasn't just going to be about one guy. I didn't want an Ewoks version of a TV show, right? Where it's technically Star Wars, but it has nothing to do with any of the larger Star Wars stuff. And the fact that not only are we going to get, you know, the Mandalorian story, that it's going to tie in with the sequel trilogy. I'm super excited for it. I think that's the way to do it. It looks like the original trilogy. It's going to tie into the sequel trilogy, and apparently now the rumor is that Season 2 may also include Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ahsoka Tano, which anybody who's watched Rebels knows that the end of Rebels fast forwards into the future, which would take place in the Mandalorian time. So it is highly possible that we could eventually get a kind of Rebels live-action tie-in in The Mandalorian, which would tie in the original trilogy and a lot of the prequel trilogy. So, I mean, we're talking about a TV show that may, in fact, incorporate things from the entire saga of Star Wars, which gets me so excited.
And people say there's not enough Star Wars canon to go around.
Those people are still just butthurt that they got rid of all of the 700 books. That, listen, I love the some of the books, but they were getting ridiculous. Like, Disney needed to get rid of that canon because it was out of control. Like, they turned Jedis into basically like omnipotent like superheroes who just could literally do anything.
Yeah.
So you know,
I'm excited for it. I'm really looking forward to just learning more of the history that they're going to be laying out. So.
Yes. You know, and this is all going to come right at the end of Rise of Skywalker, so we'll have the entire saga, and now they'll be able to start really filling in a lot of those gaps of things that we're like, hey, what happened here and what happened there? So, you know, that's one of the cool, unexpected things, I guess not unexpected, but one of the consequences of deciding to end the saga, the Skywalker saga, with this 9th movie, is now you kind of bookend it. You say, here's this story. We're going to tell some other stories, but now you guys, everybody can fill in these stories because here's your official outline. Now tell what happens in between. You know, so I'm pretty cool. Some other kind of rumor news is apparently it's rumored that Rey may in fact be one of the main characters in the Rian Johnson trilogy.
Oh, so that's going to be the one that's right after.
So Game of Thrones is coming next, I believe. So the Game of Thrones guys are doing the next trilogy, which a lot of people, which people believe is going to be Knights of the Old Republic, which would make sense. You take a break from this current timeline, you go back into the past, and then you do those for the next 10 years, and then all of a sudden, boom, here's the next trilogy of movies. And now you bring back Rey. She's a little bit older. Maybe bring her as more of a mentor. Maybe not the main character. Maybe kind of like a secondary character.
Yeah.
And kind of continue the saga that way. So, I mean, that's a lot of rumor. Nothing's been confirmed, but...
Get that one kid that pulled the broom off the wall.
Yeah, get Broom Boy. Not really Star Wars news, but another little last bit about Disney Plus before we move on is... It got announced today that apparently Gargoyles is going to be, the entire Gargoyles series is going to be available on Disney Plus. So
I am kind of sad though that it wasn't announced like a sequel or anything.
It may be. Listen, here's the cool thing about the streaming service now. Disney's going to start seeing what does well, what gets downloaded, what gets watched.
It's very true.
And if Gargoyles is their like number one watch show, it is going to be getting either a reboot or a sequel. I kind of also wish they would have remastered it. So what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to see it for the first time because they're going to be old nerds like us talking about, have you seen Gargoyles? It's amazing. And they're like, wow, this animation is crap. This looks so bad. But it is legit one of my favorite series, like animation block from the early 90s. It was so good.
Dude, that was like the show that I have like hauled ass home for. Like,
yeah, we all did.
Sprinting out from the bus and just rushing all the way back up to my house.
If Disney Animation had a Game of Thrones cartoon for kids, it was Gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
Great. And then the last bit of Star Wars news we got is Legos has announced they're continuing to roll out these massive sets so people will spend ungodly amounts of money. They have announced an Imperial Star Destroyer set that clocks in just under 5,000 pieces. That is $800. It's like 4 feet long when it's all put together.
And how big were your Harry Potter ones?
How many pieces? Like 800 pieces?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was nothing like that.
Yours and the ones that you have are like, they look pretty dang good. So
yeah, they're pretty sweet, man. And they're addictive, but I wouldn't even know where I'd put it. Even if I was like, I'm going to spend $800 today on Legos, where the hell would you put a 4-foot Star Destroyer? Like,
get some really strong like fishing wire.
Dude, I'd have to start hanging them from the ceiling. I'm sure that'd go over well with the missus. All right, so we don't have a lot of other news, so I'm going to blow through this stuff real quick so we can make sure we get all our questions. And I really want to spend a lot of time on a couple questions, really great football questions that we got.
You can take your time, Brian.
So let's see here. If there's anything you want to talk about, we can talk about it. Let's see. Disney Plus we talked about earlier. So apparently they've cast Haley Steinfeld for God, what's her name? Kate Bishop, the new apprentice of Hawkeye. So anybody not familiar with Haley Steinfeld, she most recently was in Bumblebee. She's really, really good in that, and I'm really excited for this. So. Something I'm not as excited for is Paramount is remaking Face Off.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. I feel like they're going to make it like a real serious movie, and the only reason why Face Off works is because it's literally batshit crazy.
Yeah, and God, like what? They're going to switch faces again?
Dude, like I said, they'll probably do as like a super
like they
super serious.
Faces and then they switch faces back, and now they're going to like.
Dude, I don't even know, man. All I know is, whatever. Who knows if we'll watch it? I'm sure.
John Travolta tried to act like he was Nicolas Cage was.
Maybe. I don't know. Something I will watch though is apparently Cobra Kai is now officially the whole first season is free on YouTube.
Brian,
so, yes,
you need to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. Anybody not familiar with this? This is basically it is a continuation, is a sequel series to the Karate Kid movies.
Yeah, and I turned it on at like 8:00 when my family was trying to do like family like movie night or something, and I started watching it, and I literally just let everyone go to bed, and I stayed up until 1:00 in the morning, and I watched the entire first season.
All right, I'll have to check it out. Currently there's 2 seasons right now. The 3rd season is being filmed currently as we speak. Up until now, you've had to pay. You have to subscribe to YouTube Red to be able to watch these, but now you can watch the entire first season for free with ads, and I'm guessing eventually the second season will be free too.
If you want to watch Johnny tell a bunch of kids in 2019 that, they need to stop being a bunch of pussies and to take a hit in the face and then have somebody punch each kid in the face, you need this in your life.
You need this in your life? All right, I'll check it out. And then lastly, we got a couple trailers that we don't spend much time. I'm just excited for. One was Dr. Sleep, something I wasn't expecting to be excited for. It is the movie starring, what the hell's his name? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mm-hmm. Ewan McGregor. He plays the son of Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining, so it's a sequel to The Shining, and it actually looks really, really good.
Yeah, I hope I can give it a chance.
Yeah, looks good. We got a second trailer to Jack Ryan. We got the first full season trailer, and most importantly, we got a release date. So season 2 of Jack Ryan is going to drop on November 1st on Amazon. So be on the lookout for that. And then lastly, we got the Bad Boys for Life trailer, the Bad Boys 3 trailer, and I have to admit, it was pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, it very much hit on all the nostalgia points. I think it very much has that going for it.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of it has a lot of the kind of tropes. Looks like One Last Case, old guys trying to still be they still got it.
They got the high kill counts, even, and especially in this day and age. That's definitely something that's very 19.
Well, yeah, and also it's the massive high kill counts, the ridiculous action, the people are going to shoot 700 times at you, nobody's going to hit you. But it also very much feels like the original Bad Boys. They brought back all the characters. They got the crazy lieutenant, and everybody. It actually looks pretty good, and I found myself when they have the young rookie cops all singing Bad Boys. You realize how old everybody is and how long ago that was, and it's oh man,
it definitely makes you feel old.
Yeah, but that comes out in January, and I was always gonna see it, but it's always nice to see a trailer and be like, okay, this actually does look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, anyway. I'm looking forward to it.
There we go. That is all the news that is fit for us to blab about for free on the interwebs.
Yes, yay, interwebs.
But next up, from the Fateful 50, our segment where you can be part of the show. Every week, Ryan puts up a post. Every week, he asks you guys for questions. And every week, you guys and gals follow through and come through with great stuff. This week, especially, we got some fantastic questions, Ryan.
Yes.
What would you like to start with?
So, I'll start with the 3 questions that we have.
We had 5 questions, but that's okay.
Just whatever. So, first one comes from Jeff. And he wants to know, if you could transform into any vehicle, which would you be? So you're a transformer, Brian.
I would like to be an F-18 Hornet or a Raptor. No, an F-22 Raptor. That's newer.
Oh, so you want to go with the airplane route?
I want to go airplane. I'd say like a space shuttle, but those are kind of wimpy. They're just basically giant rockets, and then they fall.
If you're a transformer, though, can't you just technically just turn into an airplane and just fly up through the atmosphere into space? Yeah,
that probably makes sense. But yeah, I want to be like an F-22 Raptor because they're pretty badass, and I'd like to be able to go from oh, hey, you know what? I'm hanging out in Seattle, but I'd really like a Philly cheesesteak. I'd be able to transform and fly and see you and get a Philly cheesesteak in 10 minutes. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. I'm going to go with...
All right. You broke up. You're going to... Hang on. You're going to go with what?
I'm going to go with a minivan. Just for shits and giggles.
Why the hell would you go with a minivan? Other than the fact that they have captain's chairs, are rather roomy and very economical and smart.
Pick up a whole bunch of people and put them in my minivan and drive off.
Like a serial killer?
Yes. I'm going to be the serial killer transformer.
You're going to be the Buffalo Bill transformer?
I'm going to get all these people in, and then I'm going to transform while they're all inside.
Oh my God, you're a monster. Jesus. Wow, that question went dark. Thanks, Jeff. Apparently, the naughty nurse serial killer, minivan stalker. Yeah, she's wow.
Next up is from Rachel. She says, favorite Catwoman portrayal.
Can anybody beat?
Pfeiffer is obviously the Catwoman from the movies, I would say.
I don't know. Can anybody beat Julie Newmar from like Batman 1966?
That's true.
She was super fine, and she acted like a cat.
Yeah.
I liked Michelle Pfeiffer, but Michelle Pfeiffer was just nutty, like insane crazy. Like watching her lick herself all the time with that like weird vinyl latex was just weird. That was some Tim Burton like sex fantasy shit.
Just to tell everybody, we are completely ruling out Halle Berry. I mean, that was
I still have yet to see this movie, and I refuse to acknowledge that it exists. So
I'm in the exact boat. So
Anne Hathaway, she was all right. She never really was like Catwoman. She was just happened to be a kind of a burglar.
She was just Selena Kyle than she was.
Yeah, she never really was Catwoman. So I don't even know if you can classify her as Catwoman. I'm gonna say the animated Catwoman from the Batman animated series.
Yeah,
pretty good Catwoman. Or you can even go with Batman Hush Catwoman. She's really good.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. But that was more Selena Kyle. That's the thing. I think there's a difference between Selena Kyle and Catwoman.
I'm sticking with my original 1966 Julie Newmar Catwoman. My favorite.
All right, I'm going with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Nailed it. I
like the crazy. All right, next up we have Christine. She wants to know for or against PSL. I'm assuming that is pumpkin spice latte.
Did you say you like crazy, Ryan?
She is anti. God damn it, Brian. So pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah, fuck pumpkin spice latte. Get rid of all the pumpkin spice everything. In fact, I say get rid of pumpkins in general. There's only two acceptable things for pumpkins. One is a pumpkin on Halloween that you carve and you gut that fucker. And two is pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving, only one slice covered in so much whipped cream that you cannot see the pumpkin pie. That is the only two good things that pumpkins are for.
So we have in our upstairs bathroom the hand soap, and so I used it, and it was acorn spice. It wasn't like quite pumpkin spice, but it was close enough that I picked it up and I hid the bottle because I just did not want to have to.
I don't understand what everyone's fascination with pumpkin spice is. It tastes terrible.
I will agree with. My wife and I had the conversation about pumpkin pies. Like when we were kids, like I could eat like a half a pumpkin pie. But like now, like you said, Thanksgiving, one slice, and that's it. Like I don't know if it's like something to just about it.
I will say somebody made for Christmas at one of my Christmas parties one year made a pumpkin cheesecake. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like those pumpkin like cheesecake bars. That's pretty good.
But pumpkin spice lattes, I don't think I've even tried one.
Christine, I'm with you. Fucking get rid of them. Ugh.
Yeah. Destroyed. Ouch. And that was it. That was all the questions.
No, that wasn't. We actually had two. They were posted on your page, so I don't know how you missed them. Yes,
well, one of them's from you, so I don't think that really even counts.
No, that it counts. Hang on, let me find it again, Ryan. It's a really important question that has to be answered.
Pretty sure that nobody other than you and what's his face.
So Ryan, you got a question from a guy named Brian. He says, "Hey Ryan, why do the Steelers suck so bad?" So I'm going to let you answer this one, being that you're a Steelers fan, and I watched some of the game, and I could not bring myself to finish it because, much like your beloved Packers, it was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, I think I walked away from the TV at least 4 or 5 times during the Steelers game. It was atrocious. It was like they hadn't even, like, it was like watching a high school team just like show up for like a college D1 game or something like that. I mean, it was pretty bad. Like the Patriots looked like they were the defending Super Bowl champs, and they were just rolling on from where they left off last year. And the Steelers looked like they have not done anything since.
So, are you worried that this maybe not is a complete reflection, but that your team might suck this year?
I think I said it even on the show that my bar of expectation for this year is very low. Though I will say it did get a little bit better when I saw that the Browns could get together. But and then
whoa, how dare you speak ill of the anointed ones?
The Ravens, they scored 59 points on a team that is intentionally tanking their season.
Yeah,
so you can't really factor in that.
And the Bengals came to Seattle and actually played pretty well. So I mean, who knows?
Yeah. So and everybody was writing off the Bengals. Everyone thought that was going to be like a Seattle blowout. So
well, if 2 plays would have gone differently, it would have been. But yeah, I mean, but they still played pretty well. So I don't know, man. I mean, I did watch some of the Steelers game. I will say this: the thing that would worry me if I'm a Steelers fan, Juju did not look ready to be a number 1 receiver. James Conner looks like he is still beat up from last year. That line could not block. The receivers could not catch. Ben could not. I think Big Ben will dial it in a little bit. He's been too good for too long, but he could not hit the broadside of a barn. And that defense could not stop anybody.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it looks like they just completely forgot about the offseason and nobody really put any effort into preparing themselves.
Well, that leads us into the next question, a wonderful question that we got from Dale. He would like to know, how bad do you think it's going to be on Sunday for Pittsburgh when the Seattle Seahawks roll to town, Ryan?
I think it's at Pittsburgh, if I remember right?
Yeah. So the question is this going to be do you think it's going to be a bounce-back game, or do you think Pittsburgh is going to start another season 0-2?
I think, God, honestly, I can't even tell you. I've been reading the official reports and stuff like that, and even then they're like, we'll guess it's going to be better. I mean,
listen.
I can't tell you. This is the first time in a long time. I would try not to get oh yeah, we're going to be Super Bowl contenders and stuff like that, but it feels like I can't even raise the bar on my extremely low expectations. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I'm assuming we're going to lose. I'm just going to go in with that assumption.
So yeah, I mean, listen, I would say that all things look good for Seattle, except for I don't think we've ever won in Pittsburgh.
Oh, well, I guess we have that going.
The last time we played Pittsburgh, we got obliterated. I think it was the year before the Super Bowl. I think it was 2012. The other thing is we didn't look all that great against the Bengals. We only managed 120 yards of offense.
Yeah, and it was all if Russell Wilson wasn't on that offense, you guys probably would not have scored.
Well, and our safety had the worst non-interception I've ever seen in my life. I mean, literally, I could have got in there, jumped up in the air, and intercepted that floater that Andy Dalton threw up there. But with that being said, that also might kind of worry me if I were a Steelers fan, is that the Hawks only had 120 yards of offense. Looked terrible all day. We're missing 2/3 of our defensive line, yet still had 5 sacks, scored 3 touchdowns, and we're never in doubt of winning that game.
I'm just going to say that I'm just going to look forward to the first 3.5 quarters of seeing Brian on Facebook and Twitter just completely bashing his team. Just completely bashing his team for the first 3.5 quarters, and then the whole the whole end of the fourth quarter, you get to see. Oh, yeah.
Dude, if I didn't love my team so much, I would literally just show up in the fourth quarter, because that is the only time the Seahawks decide they want to play a game. And I will say this: if you're a Steelers fan, if you're up 42-0, I would not count anything yet, because Russell Wilson can score 9 touchdowns in 3 minutes.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's gonna be like, all right, let's get the stuff out, and the defense is gonna be like, all right, let's get some interceptions. It'd be
42-0, and somehow the Hawks will win in overtime, 45-42. Telling you, that's how we do it, man. I mean, it's just a weird. Like, I mean, like, we're watching the Bengals. I'm watching the Bengals, and we just suck at everything. We can't run. We can't block. Dunlap and Geno Smith are just destroying our offensive line. And Russ is like, oh, you know what? I got this. 3 passes. Triple coverage, touchdown. And you're like, all right.
I can't be decisive about this game. So I'm just going to say I hope the Steelers win. I'm going to go in fully expecting them not to.
As well, you should, Ryan. Might be a long day for Pittsburgh fans. We owe Pittsburgh one. I just want to go into Pittsburgh and just beat them.
Yeah, I'm going to be at a soccer game anyways. So.
Oh, you wuss. I think I might start anybody's. I got a few Pittsburgh Steeler friends, so I think I might actually start like a live stream on Twitter or on Facebook or something where we can all just hop on and talk shit for 3 hours.
You know what? That sounds like a great idea. If you do that, I would definitely jump in on that.
So I'll see. Maybe I'll put something together, but we'll see.
You and Dale can go in there and just give me shit the whole time.
If it makes you feel any better, Ryan, I have no idea what kind of team the Seahawks are going to be this year either. So all I know is we got Jadeveon Clowney, and he's really good. He might be problems for Big Ben. So, all right, that is all the questions we got from everybody. Thank you.
Agreement that we both just hope the Patriots everyone just get all the bones broken in their bodies.
We are no longer going to mention the P word in this household, Ryan.
So. I think that's just everyone at this point, just hoping that.
I hate the Patriots. If they win the Super Bowl again, I really might quit watching football. I don't even know, man.
I'm almost at that point.
Because what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
All right. Well, whatever. Thank you, everybody who left us a question. We really appreciate it. We'll have a new post up next week, so if you missed out this week, you can join in next week. But before we get out of here, Ryan, I think it's time for a couple weekly recommendations. Things you should or shouldn't be wasting your time doing this week. Do you have anything for the people?
Yes. So on Hulu, if you have a Hulu subscription, you can watch Wu-Tang: An American Saga.
Oh, is that good?
I've watched the first 4 episodes. It is really freaking good.
So is it like a biography or is it like a reenacted, like acted out?
Well, it's RZA is the producer on it. I said that right, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the producer, or he's like the main force behind it, and it's supposed to be just kind of like how they came together. And I mean, they're on episode 4 right now, and they still, just how they had to survive selling drugs, and that whole life, and trying to get into music, but they can't get into music because they have to survive and put food on the table for their families, and and it's really interesting because they're selling drugs and doing all that stuff, but they're not like and they're shooting people, but it's very and then they go home to their families, and they got, brothers and sisters, and they're just trying to take care of them, put food on the table, they're not, millionaires or anything. They're just like, they're barely making enough by, to scrape by to pay the rent and to feed people. And so it's a very, I don't know how to say it, but it's just so dang good.
All right, I'll check it out.
It gives you it's a perspective on that lifestyle that you don't get to see.
All right, I'll check it out. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it. It looked good.
Yeah, and then you go in the car and be that white guy that listens to the Wu-Tang and sings it at the top of your lungs in the car.
Check out my gravel pit. It's a mystery unwrap as we go back.
So, yeah, it's a very good show. So, if you have a Hulu subscription, I would definitely highly suggest it.
All right. My recommendation is another show on a streaming service. I kind of teased it earlier, the DC Universe streaming service. They just dropped last Friday Season 2, Episode 1 of Titans, and picks up right where the season left off. Really, it is the season finale of last year. I'm not really sure why they turned it into a part 1 of Season 2. It's basically the ending of last season with like a little 5-minute add-on at the end for Season 2. But who cares? It's really good. As usual, the graphics are great, the storylines are cool, and by the end of it, you really start seeing where the show's going and how comic book accurate it's going to be kind of going forward. So it's a great show. It's one of my favorite shows from last year. It continues to be one of my favorite shows. DC Universe maybe does not have a ton of things, but the things they do have are really good and quality. So check them out. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time. It's the 1 year anniversary. They're probably running some specials. Titans season 1 available, season 2 episode 1 available now. They are released week to week every Friday, so check them out.
Yeah, I'm going to give it. Thank you for reminding me because I need to get started on that this week.
Well, that's what we're here for, Ryan. So, well, before we get out of here, unless you have anything else, would you like to tell everyone where they can find us?
Of course, you can find us on YouTube at the Geek Dad Report and Twitter at the Geek Dad Report, where Brian is BrianWest53 and I am Big Bruiser. We're on Facebook at the Geek Dad Report and on podhell.com. And you can also find us on iTunes. So make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, give us the heart thing, follow, do all the things that if you wanted to interact with us and let us know that we are, pleasing you, then that's all we really want. I was waiting to see how you're going to do pleasing, but yeah. That's what I was looking for. So we just want to. And if you enjoy the show, please just tell your friends. I mean, if it wasn't for our good friend X, we would have quit the show a good 150 subscribers ago. So he's kept us going. So let your friends know and tell them to subscribe and just. Let us know how we're doing. We want to talk to people. That's what we're here for. So, anything else you'd like to add, Mime?
Nope, not at all. I'm ready to upload this shit and go to bed.
All right.
I want to sneak in some windows. Yes.
Oh. We're going to come and then I'll put the ibuprofen in your mouth.
We're not talking about putting things in people's mouths. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, stay awesome.
And stay nerdy, everyone.